All right, we'll try this one more time. It's my third attempt to upload a video for you. I'm getting interrupted with phone calls and children and internet problems, so hopefully this will work. This week you're in chapter 8, prepositions and the verb "ame." I'm going to try to do this at home. I am, just if you must know, I am wearing a cardigan because that's how much of a nerd I am. And we are in kind of the middle of Hurricane Sally we're north of Mobile County, so we're still getting some of the wind and rain. So hopefully things will be okay for you guys, and hopefully it'll be okay for us. So to keep in mind about prepositions is prepositions are indeclinable words. So you remember this from your reading in Mounts, but the nice thing about prepositions is you don't parse them. They don't have an inflected meaning at all. Nouns, adjectives, verbs, those have inflections, but prepositions don't. So that's really nice. The tricky thing about prepositions is the meaning of a preposition can change depending on what case its object is in. And that sounds complex. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just say that some prepositions can have multiple sort of meanings that actually do have a sometimes profound impact on how we translate the Bible. So for example, meta can mean with, or it could mean after. Another example here from your vocabulary. The preposition hupa could mean by, or it could mean under. Okay, let me double check So prepositions might change meanings depending on what case their object is in. I do want to also emphasize Mounce's recommendations that when you're going to translate Greek sentences, you learn to bracket. Or what I like to do is put parentheses. He showed you how to break it down. I don't like doing that. I think that's a waste of time. I think it's better when you're translating to get the sentence and then put things in parentheses. So I'll show you how to do that, or how I do it. And what I like to do is I like to underline the subject if it has an explicit subject. I like to underline the subject, which again will always be in the nominative case if it's expressed. I like to double underline the verb. So, and once you've identified the subject and the verb of a clause, the rest is sort of background. I mean, it matters what the rest is, but those are the two main components. You've got a doer and what they're doing. So that's a big deal. So once you get those two pieces kind of isolated, then you can look for these other words, right? Postpositives. You can look for conjunctive words. You can look for prepositional phrases. So that helps out a lot. So we'll practice bracketing when we have our next Zoom session. The other thing that's important about this chapter is the verb "ame." The verb "ame," meaning I am. So you will need to understand the first, second, third persons, plural, and singular, and just what those forms look like. You're going to see those a lot in the New Testament. So "ame" is most popular. This is, it's the is verb, was verb, linking verb, the most common linking verb in English and the most common linking verb in Greek. So it's important to know that one. Now, we won't get into verbs hot and heavy until next semester, really. Hopefully we'll be able to get into a little bit at the end of this term, but most likely next. So it's important to get this down and give you a good head start on understanding how verbs work. He includes a lot more information. I'll give you another video maybe tomorrow that explains a heads up on what's coming on the quiz. Frankly, a lot of this information is over detailed. I wouldn't worry too much about it. About some of the details here. Mainly, you just need to focus on making sure you understand what prepositions are, make sure you understand what "ame" is doing, and then start memorizing the forms. And then once you do that, you can start practicing. So main things to keep in mind is that the word following the preposition is usually the object of that preposition. And then within that prepositional phrase, you can have adjectives, and you can have genitival adjectives, you can have additional datives and things like that. So, but a phrase usually includes the preposition and its object. Remember, the meaning of a preposition is determined by the case of its object. So you'll see in your vocabulary this week that certain prepositions can change the meaning on the basis of what case their object is in. So you've got to learn sometimes 2 or 3 different meanings for one preposition because it changes on the basis of what case the object is in. Now I'll skip that one. Let's see. I wouldn't worry. Don't worry about inflection. That can be important at some, but it's not that big of a deal. Mouse makes a big deal out of it. I don't think it is that big of a deal. Let's see. The rest of this is normal. You do want to memorize the forms for a me, and recognize and remember this, I guess, that when a linking verb is used, like a me, it's going to be followed by predicate nominative. Okay, and he explains what a predicate nominative is in the chapter, but it's basically it's on the other, it's when a noun and adjective, or sometimes the case, a noun and another noun, are linked together by a linking verb. So most verbs are action verbs, but linking verbs are, I would describe them as, think of an equal sign, right? You're equating two nouns together, or equating a noun and an adjective together. And the noun, the initial noun, the nominative noun is linked by a me very often in the New Testament. So think of it like a linking verb. You have your subject, the linking verb, and then the thing being linked to the subject is called the predicate nominative. The predicate nominative. It's kind of a giveaway because you'll identify the subject of a sentence, and then if you see something on the other side of the linking verb that's also in the nominative case, then once you apply the rules of determining which of those nouns is a subject, the only thing it can be is a predicate nominative. So hopefully that'll be clearer to you as you do these examples. All right, I'm going to stop this video here, upload it because it will take me less time, and then I'm going to upload another video where we do some vocabulary and workbook exercises. All right.